what's going on, guys? Thanks so much for joining me on the channel today for the first episode of Drum Days. So what this series is going to kind of run and being is, obviously, I have a drum here, and we're going to go over some just kind of basic fundamental things as it pertains to drumming. Now, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. I've actually been playing drums since I'm maybe 6-7 years old. I kind of got started doing that. My dad is a professional musician and has been since like the 70s, you know, so I grew up in a very musical family, and just was something that I naturally gravitated toward drums first. I've now recently kind of gone across all different spans of things. Learning how to sing is my latest endeavor. I've been working really hard doing that, but guitar and piano and things like all of the different things. And I also studied music in school, music performance, and graduated with an associate's degree in it. So, excuse me, I needed to burp. But anyhow, yeah, that's what Drum Days is going to be, guys. Is we're just going to go over some basic things like rudiments, you know, different dynamic styles of playing, different, you know, concepts even. There's a lot to kind of delve into with as far as basics. And so we're going to start with something extremely basic today. And that's going to be just obviously holding the sticks and technique wise as far as that's concerned, where you need to hit on the drum. You have to excuse me, got to get me some good old espresso. And on my ice is ice. When I'm Australian, ice is melt. I don't even know what that is. Anyway, but we're ready to get started here, guys. So, obviously, there are two main grips that are utilized in drumming. Okay, excuse my hair. So we've got the match grip, okay, which is here, obviously on the drum. If you see here, it's kind of creating a V-shaped pattern that's going to be the same from match into traditional. So you have the almost kind of the. What you want to think about it to kind of find the placement on the drum is you want to kind of start with the hands and the sticks in the middle, and you kind of just want to rotate those wrists out. You kind of rotate them out, and that's your positioning on the drum, okay? So that's your first grip. So it's match grip, okay? And you're going to find that in any style of anything. That's the basis for playing. But what you're also going to see, and especially if you watch a lot of marching band and percussion, you know, DCI, you watch college marching bands, things like that, you're going to see traditional grip. And you'll see me probably play a lot of traditional grip just because it's really comfortable for me because, you know, I did a lot of marching band. I loved Drum Corps International, and, you know, I did a lot of playing and practicing in kind of that style. So, you'll see me play a lot of traditional stuff, okay? And what this kind of will entail as well, it's the same general concept, except for we have now, instead of two palms down, taking them here and turning out the wrist, we now have it between the thumb and your two front fingers, two forefingers here, okay? So very different, and they obviously they look different. Stylistically, to me, traditional looks a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, but, you know, that's just me. But, you know, if you're going to play on a drum kit, I know that there are some people that play traditional on drum kit. A little weird to me, but you're going to play match grip on drum kit, translating over if that's what your purpose is learning and starting for. So the next thing, guys, is we're going to talk about actually taking a grip on the stick, okay? So what you want to kind of do is you want to take the stick in between the hands, or the thumb and finger. Excuse me, I can't talk today. So you're going to take the thumb and finger. You're going to kind of pinch it like so. Then all you're going to do is let your fingers then wrap around the stick. Okay? Again, here for you, pinch, and you're just going to let your fingers wrap around naturally. Okay? And this little grip, this little pinch here is called the fulcrum. And you're going to, again, like I said, just pinch, let the fingers wrap down and around. Okay? It looks something like that, like so. Okay? And that's for match grip. Now for traditional grip, especially if you are a beginner, if you're watching this and you're a beginner, I would not advise starting off learning how to play traditional. It's intricate and it's difficult. It's different. It's very different than match grip. It's hard to learn and it's hard to get good at. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of time, but if you want to learn what you're going to do, same thing here with this hand. So we're going to grip, fingers, boom, we're good. Now, with this turned up hand, you're going to take it and you're going to kind of squeeze your thumb around it. If you can see that, kind of strange, right? So you're going to take your thumb here and you're going to bring your fingers around it, and this bottom knuckle on your ring finger is going to be the support. Okay? So again, we're here, bringing the ring finger down as your support, and the two fingers come over on top of it, like so. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to cover too is just the general idea of how to, actually striking the drum itself. Okay? So a lot of people, when you first start, you'll see a lot of big stick movement, arm movement, and so on and so forth. Okay, now that has its place for showmanship if you're doing stuff that calls for it. It's not necessary. And especially when you get into drum kits, when you translate into drum kicks, there's big arm movements and things that can be done for showmanship and all that stuff. So I'm not demonizing that. But what I'm saying is it's very useless to waste your time trying to make big arm movements because you're just wasting energy. You're wasting, and it's just hard to play clean. You're wasting a lot of your effort trying to do all of this arm movement. When really the bass movement comes from the wrist. So we're going to go match grip, okay? So we're going to go match grip, guys. We're going to lay the sticks here, like I said, and we've still got our nice fulcrum, nice and steady, and the stick is in our hands. We're going to rotate those wrists out. So now this is where we're going to be on the drum. This is where we want to try to hit and stay, no matter what we're doing. So again, what we're going to do is it's all in the wrist. The movement comes from the wrist. Because you can see I can hit the drum with varying degrees of intensity, obviously, without really getting the whole arm involved and all this, wristy movement and all this stuff going on. You don't need that. You can hit and have a lot more dynamic control, being in control of just the movements from the wrist. So, again, guys, it all comes down to practice. And just feeling comfortable. But that's the very basics of just the approaching of holding the sticks and having the technique, of hitting the drum, the actual drum itself, and striking the drum. So the main thing is, again, when it comes to hitting the drum, you want, and going from traditional, I'll show you traditional as well, same kind of idea. It all comes from the wrist. And again, there is some use for that when it comes into play to get some rebound and big, but we'll get into that later. Again, there is some technique involved with that, but for now, that's all you need. And I guess the second to last thing, I kind of lied to you guys. The last thing is kind of where you need to grip the stick at. Now, of course, I am using, marching snare drum sticks, just because I like to practice with them, just for strength, speed, chops, the whole nine. But it will vary for normal drumsticks, when you're just playing on a kit or just a normal pair of drumsticks, right? Where I this, again, let me back up here. This might vary from person to person now. Some people find it more comfortable to be farther down on the stick. Some people maybe find it more comfortable to be higher up on the stick, right? Look how much there's excess there. Some people there, some people might find there to be comfortable. Whatever works, right? But the general rule, I would say, is probably here. And what the test you can have is you want to be able to put the stick in that space. You can see that. I don't know what I'm doing with my arms. But that space, you should be able to fit the other stick in that space pretty much. And again, it'll vary from a normal stick for like a drum kit or for a snare drum, whatever the case may be, it will vary. But at the end of the day, whatever's comfortable for you guys, just honestly get acclimated, grab some sticks, start practicing these very basic things. And of course, if you're not a beginner, this doesn't apply to you. But again, if you're just starting out, a couple places to start for you guys. But appreciate you for checking out the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you're new to this channel, or if you're just a beginner into playing drums, strap up. It's going to be a good ride. It's a lot of learning process. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's a process at the end of the day, and it's a lot of fun to learn. Like I said, on this series specifically for Drum Days, guys, it's going to be something new every week. I'm going to be jumping into probably starting rudiments next week. So that's what I'm hoping to get into moving forward, guys. But leave a like on the video, guys, if you enjoyed the content. Of course, like I said, if you learned something, also leave comments on other things that you might be interested in learning about drumming. Maybe just even drums themselves, how to put heads. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of stuff that I can talk about or how to tune one. There's a lot that I can talk about. So yeah, I appreciate you for checking out the video, guys. And of course, subscribe to the channel for weekly content posted here. I appreciate you for checking it out, guys, and you have a good day. We will talk to you later.